right, we are back. We are the Dallas Beer Guardians. I'm your Vice President Dennis, here with President Marcus and Director at Large Hubert. We are here reviewing Major League Soccer Match Week 10. The Dallas boys get on the road and do the damn thing in Miami. How about that?
Yeah, Road Warriors, I'm telling you.
Absolute beasts. Came back second half, just when we thought it was over. Never count them out. Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal. What a rush. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, character, right? Character and grit. It's that Eric Quill thing that they keep talking about. We finally got the 4-3 games we were promised.
Yeah.
I think that's what everybody was saying before the season started. Prepare for a lot of 4-3 games.
I said that. It took 10 weeks, but we're here.
Yeah, I was listening back to the pod and I'm like, yeah, he was totally wrong about that, but it's fine,
I'm sure that I agreed. I can't remember.
No, I think we all agreed. Because we didn't know what Ozzy was going to be. And
absolutely. Holy cow.
Yeah, Ibby's still a liability, unfortunately. So
it's nice to have a player like Osaze that makes everybody around him look a little bit better, though. That's a nice.
Somebody on Reddit said we were robbed of a Tafari Ozzy backline.
Honestly, though,
yeah,
that would have been incredible. That would have just been incredible shit talking going on back there between the two of them.
Yeah, so
but no, the league would have been able to handle it. Honestly,
yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, no,
which would have been great.
It was a great game. I obviously wasn't here for the Minnesota game, which was a snooze fest. I did watch it though, with the time difference and all. And we
That's
really missed
because that game was terrible.
Yeah, we really miss our big number 9, and I think we're all realizing now Acosta's not the same without his Robin. I don't know who's Robin, who's Batman in that combo.
I don't know. I think Moose is Batman just based on size alone.
Pretty much. Yeah, maybe we need a Nightwing or something. We need somebody else.
That could be Pedrinho.
Or Julio. That run by Julio is looking, it's looking prettier and prettier every time I see it. But absolutely. 4-3 against against the non-Barcelona 4 or whatever the hell they're calling them. Great game. Well, rephrase it. Not a great game. Good character, good grit.
Finishing though.
I do have some really annoying points about Shaq Moore being a lot of mid, and it's starting to frustrate me, even though he scored.
This was a roller coaster of a Shaq Moore game. Holy cow.
So Shaq opens up the account in the 8th minute and puts us up. And I don't know where you guys were, but I was up at Derbyshire and we were going a little crazy up there. We ordered a round of shots after that one, and it got a little exciting from there.
A little early there to get a
little early, but just got to get the party. It's Sunday afternoon. By the way, I love Sunday afternoon football. I wish we had 5 or 6 of these games every year. I love a good 4 p.m. game.
You mean Sunday night football? That's
no. We were not Sunday night football. We were not the Sunday night football.
I guess they did go out of their way to call the evening one Sunday night, unlike week 1 or 2 where they were calling the afternoon game Sunday night football.
Yeah, that was.
This was clearly a Saturday game that got moved because of Champions Cup, Champions League, whatever we're calling it these days. I don't know. Keep changing the names. Sunday night soccer.
I don't got to think about that tournament.
Right, exactly.
Pretty much.
But 8 minutes later, Shaq Moore comes in the 16th minute with what was ruled as an own goal off his shoulder.
Is that officially now an own goal? Because I've seen mixed reporting, and on the MLS website, it still shows it as a Pico goal.
Yeah.
Nice. FotMob has it listed as a Shaq Moore own goal. I don't know when that was updated or where we go from there, but that's what they have. That's where I get my data from, so that's what I'm going with.
Okay. I mean, works for me. Yeah, what a horrible situation off a great pause save, right? That's one that Pause actually had a decent save on, and just onto the shoulder and in. I guess the argument is whether it went in off the shoulder or if it actually got scored on the rebound that Pico scored.
Either way, it was not a great goal. Shaq looked like he was turned around, didn't know where the ball was, and once again, looked a little bit out of place. And there was a hole on the right side that got beat by a good cross.
Yeah. I mean,
stop me if you heard the story before.
Yeah. Cross has been killer.
Crosses to that side, to Pause's right, to the Ibby Shaq side have been a problem all season.
Yep.
Something's got to give there.
It doesn't help when Nelson's getting nutmegged on.
Yeah, that was a pretty nasty Meg.
It wasn't a clean Meg. It wasn't a clean Meg.
No.
It did hit its heel, but yeah, it was pretty.
But that's what I tell myself when I'm like, well, I got a touch to it.
Yeah.
No, that was bad. Johnny, I keep wanting to call him Johnny Nelson. My bad. I know he's not Johnny Nelson, but they're both babyface. So give me a break on it. But yeah, he kept getting beat a bit on that side. I don't think he quite had the pace to deal with the man that he was charged with.
You're talking about Norris?
Yeah, Norris.
The babyface assassin, Norris?
Yeah. I think Norris was getting beat a lot on that side, but it was on speed and pace more than anything. I don't know that it was his positioning as much as just he wasn't agile enough, and they can't take advantage of that. And then his backup was Show, and who just had a terrible game anyways. So when Show's the guy covering for you, I don't know, just bad all around for that.
Well,
I felt bad for him.
When Show came in, they changed formation. They went to a back three, which whatever. But
with Show coming on, Norris was subbed off. And...
Wait. I thought Show was the guy in front of Norris. Am I wrong? Like for most of the game. Let me look at that starting lineup again real quick.
No, they swapped each other out.
Oh, then who am I thinking of that was in?
Tariq Scott is who they brought in, right?
Yeah. Show started.
Oh,
Show started. Yeah. Show started, and then Show was subbed off in the 58th when guys are getting way ahead of me here. Sorry.
Okay, you wanted your recap. Go for
it. Yeah, go ahead.
We'll catch up to it. Goals in the 29th and the 56th from Miami. So, decent way into the second half here. We're down 3-1. Osaze Orihide with
Wait. We got to pile on more again.
Okay.
He tried to do the Nolan pull you before you get in the box, but then it ended up in the box. So he had to let go and let that third shot go.
That was on the Hector Martinez goal in the 56, right?
I think so. Yeah, I believe it was goal number 3. I did feel bad for Shaq on that one, but yeah, either way.
No, and this is what I mean by bad defensive play. It's so you're trying to body him instead of playing the ball.
Yep.
And then when you miss the body, you can't do anything because you're in the box at that point.
And you're out of place. And
yeah, so it's just that's the thing that happens a lot. Like Nolan does that too, where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna play the space," and I'm like, "You're not talented enough to do that."
Yeah,
right.
I'm
true. Just gonna let you. That's the only thing I give Romero credit for. He's not fast, but he's at least talented enough to know that I'm gonna stand in this dead space. Right. And I'm gonna block where you want to go. Ooh, look at that Shaq through the laces right there. Oh, that was pretty.
And by the way, that was a
gorgeous goal.
Yeah.
Gorgeous goal, well deserved.
Yeah. Outside of the boot, just right. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Anyway.
And then the rest of the game. So yeah. No, Shaq. I mean, again, Shaq had a so-so game. The Miami
Shaq
goals,
giveth and Shaq taketh away.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay. There's a diesel joke I could make here, but I'm too tired.
You can keep going, Dennis, if you want.
Yeah, jet lag. Continue. But yeah, the 2 Miami goals, I don't think were that fantastical.
Not really.
It was more mistakes on our part. Mm-hmm. But yeah, go ahead.
Massive change in the formation. 58th minute, we get Abubakar subbed on for Norris. We get Pedrinho coming on for Show. The formation changes to a back 3. They're moving much more forward. They're much more attacking, and the mentality seemed to change dramatically here too. Saw something different come out of this team in the second half. 7 minutes later, Oz gets his first goal of the season, 3-2. Game on.
I mean, has there been a more satisfying goal than like immediate trash talking?
Oh,
I don't know, Tafari's goal against Austin.
So much fun.
I mean, that had that energy and like it hyped everyone. I got hyped. I don't know. It was fun. I hate Falcone. He's a piece. Well, we're too early for me to,
we're 10 minutes in. It's fine.
But I think he led the league in yellow cards last year, right? And this year he's getting them. And the referee decides 3 or 4 plays of like yellow cardable offenses to just go, no, don't do that.
Yep.
Yeah, that Falcone is. Yeah, that was a lot of. I'm not holding him. What do you mean holding him? I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course, referee. You got to do it, right? You might as well. So
yeah, and I my man Ozzy did what Omar would do in the Oz, and would be like, hey, Omar's coming, and in this case, Oz is coming, and he did what he needed to do. It was a deflected goal, but who cares? Back in the net.
By the way, did you guys ever have an Omar's coming tifo for Omar?
No,
he didn't play enough.
He didn't play.
Like,
yeah.
Which game would we have put that in?
I don't know.
And to be honest, if he showed up, no one's running, so it's fine.
Right. Good point.
You know, I more credit to Oz too. Deflection goal, yeah, that is worthy of a caveat. But to be the guy to get the header and the follow up, it's pretty good. Good on him, especially the defender, to have the mentality and like the aggression to stay up with it and be his own follow up. Cool to see Oz get a goal. Just keeps being a really cool player for us. And I don't know, man. I think he definitely got the spotlight this week. People are shouting him out. People started shouting him out last week nationally.
I think we're realizing now why we paid $3 million. He was definitely playing, I think, under his capabilities.
The scout that discovered him put out a tweet saying, "You're welcome, FC Dallas," or something like that this week.
Yeah. I can see us selling him for 5-6-ish mil in the next summer window.
Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, I'd like them to hang here, but
my hope is that center backs are a dime a dozen. So
but
my hope is that makes him have to stick around a minute.
Yeah, but he's from England. After these performances, if these continue, some championship level club will throw 5-6 million at him for him to go home, and
Yeah, well, I guess that's when we're going to find out about ambition through the hunts and the group and see what's up, right?
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, it depends upon where this season wraps up, what we look like, in the off season.
Well, I'm sure I'm curious to see if that scenario does come up, how much say Quill has.
Right, but who's up behind him now? It's
Abubakar.
Yeah,
you got Abubakar, and who's coming out of the academy behind him? There's Enzo Newman, maybe
one, yeah.
Enzo Newman, who's on IR this season now.
Yeah, Newman's done. So
right, so. But your boy Falcone gets subbed off immediately after that goal.
Oh, it was so embarrassing.
That was so much fun.
Oh, he just ended the man's career. It was great.
Take him out back and put a shotgun to him.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do that.
Take him to the glue factory.
Send them to Guam. No,
no.
I think the subs in this game definitely showed up. I think once Pedrino showed up, I think we all can admit that the game changed. I was mid-sentence saying, man, they should have brought Siki on. We need someone who can do a forward pass.
Sure.
And then Julio over the top, chested down, tap in, and I'm like, well, never mind. Continue.
What a clean, cold finish, too.
Yep.
Man.
Yes. Yeah.
4 minutes after the Oz goal, Anderson Julio with the assist by Pedrino, and just slots it home, and boom. We are now in the 70th minute. It's a 3-3 game in Miami.
By the way, that felt like a classic FC Dallas goal, right?
Yeah.
Like harkening back to Diaz and Castillo and everything. That had that vibe. It was nice.
Yeah, Castillo, Mikey Barrios. That was deep in when Poppy was here. That was deep in our repertoire, right? But you have to have a 10, which we do now. But you have to have someone willing to go over the top. And Chu has shown that that's not him, right? So
he just doesn't have the speed for it.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, though, even before this, maybe it was the tactics change, but Julio wasn't doing a ton of it this game either. The last 2 or 3, he hasn't been trying for the over the top very often, which is odd.
I think that's part of Musa not being out there.
Maybe you're right.
For it to work. Sorry, for it to work, you need someone else drawing eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
And we love Farrington, but no one's overplaying Farrington. We're not double teaming Farrington, right? Moose, on the other hand, you might send an extra defender just to look over his shoulder.
Yeah, that's fair.
But no, that sequence was pretty beautiful. Petrino, and then somehow he wasn't the man of the match. And I'm like, what game were you guys watching? How you come in, play 30 minutes, goal and an assist, and you're not the man of the match?
Who got man of the match?
Julio.
Julio?
And I love it. Great play, but that didn't make any sense.
What did he do besides the goal? Well, and by the way, Julio wingback was kind of good, right?
Yeah.
He had
anyway, but what else did Julio do to warrant man of the match? Nothing, right? Other than being a solid player all game.
Yeah.
No, they have him as an 8.7 rating on FOTMob. 4 tackles. He led most tackles. He also won the most duels of the match, 11. So he had 90 minutes played.
Hold on. FOTMob is incorrect on that. If I remember correctly. Hold on.
Well, we're going to have to find a new source of truth for our data.
Well, FOTMob's not reliable for data. I wouldn't trust it all the time. It's spotty. It's better for following games than it is for actually relying on for stats.
On the stats, yeah.
Julio's 11, right?
Yes.
He had 10 duels won, according to like official communications, at least. So
Okay.
10 duels won, 2 interceptions, 3 tackles won, a goal, 7 possessions won, and 5 total dribbles were his stats.
Off the shoulder. My man.
And yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that's I guess why we're looking at him as man of the match here, because he was the lead here and led in quite a few categories, whether the numbers are
I
3
suppose
or 4
it's hard
or
to
10 or
ignore
11.
a goal and an assist off the bench, right?
Yeah,
that's my thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
By the way, robbed of another assist and or goal later. I know people were giving Pedrinho grief for not passing on that one play.
Oh
later,
yes.
I think he got tapped. I think I think he slipped or got tapped, man. I really do. I think he got over ambitious with that little weird heel touch he did.
So if you
slipped on it.
If you rewatch the highlight, his head never goes
5
up.
times.
Yeah, his head, it doesn't look up. He keeps looking down to where the ball is. And I'm like, you're a professional. I need you to not do that anymore.
Sure.
Right?
I do think that it's harsh to totally blame him on that, although it is a Pedrinho choice, right? In North Texas as well, to just kind of make a dumb decision. But the dude goes down some. So I don't know. Like he straight up falls some.
Who was the open guy?
Was it Logan?
No,
Julio?
Logan was
I don't remember.
Whoever it was. No, it's Tariq Scott. If I'm Tariq, I kick him in the ankles when we get in the locker room.
I do say something about Tariq Scott. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because Tariq that is how you get minutes, right? That's how Bernie got so many minutes. His first game in, over the top, chipped the goalkeeper.
Absolutely.
It was beautiful. That's as a young player, Tariq's coming off an injury. That's how you gain confidence. That's how you get the coach's eye. So
how'd you feel about Scott's play, even if he didn't really get a goal or anything?
It wasn't enough time for me.
Yeah, I mean, he only had what, 4 minutes, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Came on in the 88th.
He got in good positions. That's about all I can say for sure.
Yeah. You mean like a tap in position?
Yeah, right.
Ball?
Fair enough.
Great. No, but that being said, Petrino, it's a pet peeve of mine with at any level, any player. You've been doing this long enough. You need to know where the ball is. You don't have to look down for it, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's how I can tell the difference between like the real touch of class is right. Control. You might look down the one time, but after that,
I was gonna say unless you're doing like a quick shot.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, Petrino, I think in my opinion, man, the match. It's hard to golden assist coming when he came in, and to be honest, that goal and the assist is the reason we won.
Right.
Yeah.
So, right. So
game tying assist, game winning goal. That's a.
And by the way, a very good finish of a goal too. It wasn't like trash or anything. It was a good.
Oh yeah. Turned his hip, side of the foot on the opposite side of where the goalkeeper was. It was, that's one of those Jesus type goals. Because there are lots of players who would have tried to control that before kicking it, and then give the defender and the goalkeeper an opportunity to recover. So that's why you got to hit that one time and just bang.
I think that's one of the fun things about Pedrinho, his little flicks and like willing to take little one touches and stuff. I think that was really fun to watch, and I really enjoyed that in tandem with Lucho.
No, for sure. But yeah, no, we're the road warriors. Apparently, the
problem I'd like to win at home, but sure,
that's what I'm trying to say. Is like
road good form. Thing we got another road game coming up.
Yeah, but road form doesn't last this long, and I think we all know this, right? We've already beat last season's total, so at this point,
I mean, we did that like 2 games in, didn't we?
No, I think we got 9. We got 9 last year. We got 7 as of last week, so now we're at 10. So, but
I mean, I'll take it while we got it, but you can't rely on that all year, right? It's just not a thing that works, and it's MLS, right? It's crazy that you're not winning at home.
So, but we'll take it.
And, if we look at those games individually, though, instead of a sum of their parts, I mean, Chicago game, they dominated pretty much the entire game. Couple bad mistakes. They went up against a very, 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 and I cannot stress how good of a Vancouver team we played early on.
World beaters right now.
Right. So I think you got to take a couple of these games with a grain of salt. Hopefully, they've gelled a little bit more on the road, and they're going to come back home in a couple of weeks and really get after it. But
I want to give a flip side here, though. We barely beat Kansas City, who were garbage.
True.
And we were a non-call in Houston to win that game. So, we got to. That being said, I blame Tanner for that Chicago game because the moment he texts us like, "Hey, you want to go down to the field to get the cup?"
Absolutely.
They bang in 2 goals.
100% Tanner's fault. Tanner, if you're listening,
sure.
I know he's not, but
do better. Do better.
Do better.
For sure. All right. So 2 takeaways. I think that's the next thing, right? Yeah.
Let's go 2, 3, whatever you got. Let's give me a couple takeaways from this game. FC Dallas 4, Inter Messi 3.
Takeaways. I'm looking forward to seeing what Chase Field becomes when they move down the street. The MLS Next Pro is not going to fill that stadium out, and that's just a side note. Although announced yesterday, USL 1 team for Lauderdale United is going to start next year.
Fun. So, okay.
Although their colors are blue and the stadium has pink seats, I don't know if that would work.
Interesting.
But takeaway is Acosta's not as good without Musa. Hopefully that ankle injury is not bad.
He did travel with the team. Musa was in Miami, so he was an option. He just, I guess, wasn't healthy enough to play. So
last minute scratch. And then what's my brain? We're a better team. MLS, sorry, not MLS. FC Dallas is a better team in general when we have defenders that score. So whether it was Ryan Hollinshead or Matty Hedges or Rito, Coast or Rito.
He got a couple.
Yeah. So we're
a couple big ones though.
For sure. So we're better, and I think that goes with most teams, but this team specifically because we never had a 9 that would score, so we needed defenders. And if our 9's not gonna be available, we need the defenders to come up again. So if Shaq Moore, who we all thought was more offensive anyway, if he starts producing, I think that'll be better. So,
that was the point, right?
Those are my 2 takeaways. Is that nice stadium. What are they going to do in a year or 2 years? And it's supposed to be next year, right? 2026.
Yep,
can't remember.
Yeah, that's the big thing is that they're like, well, we need to re-sign Messi at least 1 more year to open the stadium.
Makes sense.
But those are my takeaways.
Dennis, you first or me first?
Go for it.
All right, my 2 takeaways. I think that Ramiro was quietly one of the better players. I do think FC Dallas, posted a graphic where they posted the stats. Let me pull it up here. I think I saved it. 22 passes into the final third, 10 final third entries, 86 touches, 65 total passes, 4 tackles, and 6 possessions won. Ramiro had a really good game. And deserves some credit. I was originally bummed because I wanted to see some rotation on the back and see Kaique played differently and everything. But no, I mean, Ramiro showed up and showed out. So good game for him, like you're talking about. He definitely showed that veteran ability, which was really cool. Dude was exhausted by the end of the game. He put in a shift. Second takeaway, I got to go with Pedrinho showing out this game and like proving a little bit is really nice. It just proves that if we use our pipeline better, we can do some stuff. That being said, he was still Pedrinho that does the most incredible thing in the world and then, flubs the simplest thing. Hopefully he can develop into something beyond that. And just before we moved on, I wanted to bring up that Paxton was questionable now as opposed to just out, which is interesting. He's in training. And I wanted to ask you guys real quick, if you, like me, kept forgetting that the Inter Miami mascot is a heron and not a flamingo.
Did not think about it, to be honest.
I haven't put much thought to Miami's mascot.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, you got to go ahead, Dennis.
Well, they can't do the flamingo because of Madison in the USL.
That's right.
So that's what it is. Because
imagine not being able to do a flamingo because of some team in Wisconsin.
Yeah. That's hilarious. But yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna go out and say this, and maybe this is saying a lot. Maybe it's already a foregone conclusion. But I think when this season is over, I think we're gonna look back and say the best acquisition in Major League Soccer from outside the league is gonna be Oz. I think across the league, when it boils down to it, I think Osaze Urahide is going to be the best outside of the league acquisition. I will say that again. He has brought immeasurable talent to this back line. And yeah, they're not fully gelled yet. And yeah, there's still some questions about what goes on the other side. But the attitude, the play style, and the willingness to get involved and get up in people's faces physically, mentally, is going to prove to be exceptional at this level. So that's first takeaway. Go ahead. You want to debate that?
Nah. I mean, that's you. I mean, I would put money on it, but I might lose, so I'll just go ahead.
I'm not arguing with it, and I'd have to look at who all came in, but I imagine there's probably an attacking player out there that's going to score like 15 goals.
Yeah.
That'll be hard to argue against.
Right.
But we'll see. I don't know.
All right. Maybe we'll cap it at best
because we way undervalue defenders, right?
What? This is an attackers league, sir.
This was a 4-3 game, gentlemen.
For sure. All right. Next point.
Next point. I am really impressed with this Brazilian connection that we've got going on here. We've got Pedrinho. We've got we've got all these guys in the midfield. Ramiro, Kaique. I think we're seeing more out of these guys than I think we really expected, and it's going to be fun to watch again as they continue to gel as the season goes on.
Did you say Brazilian connection?
I did.
Oh, we got something here. The one day we'll find it. The Brazilian connection.
Oh,
I'm not going to sing it because I don't want to be,
Is that a thing?
Infringing. Yeah, the Rainbow Connection, Kermit the Frog.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you lost me.
We'll come up with something with the Brazilian connection.
The Brazilian connection. I like it.
I will say Kaique is starting more sooner than I expected. Still has his shirt tucked in, and I love it. So
love it. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So any final thoughts on this one before we roll on?
Saze is a shithouser, and I'm here for it.
Love it.
For sure.
That's mine.
So we've got coming up next. Boys continue on the road. The Road Warriors roll on, and they take it out west from Miami all the way out to the left coast. Snapdragon Stadium, San Diego. Here we come.
Yeah, for sure. One quick note before we get there. So watch parties were at Community and what's the other place?
Derbyshire.
I'm going to blame jet lag at least for a month now.
So, you've been back for like 5 days already?
Yeah, I got here on Wednesday, but I literally landed, got home, and mowed the lawn because they were too tall and the city left a note on my door. So, so community turnout for a Sunday was actually pretty awesome. And because there were no other events, we had the whole place. We had to run to the place. We had about 20 people show up. So, that's pretty good numbers. Everybody spent some money. So that's how we continue these partnerships for sure. Brian told me Derbyshire also had some numbers. So
yeah, we had a decent turnout up north as well. And again, Sunday afternoons, we majority had the bar to ourselves. We had the FC Dallas game on, and we also had pretty much every other game that was going on at that time. We had there was a couple MLS games on. There was I got to watch the Knicks playoff game. There was a couple hockey games on. There was a whole bunch of activity. 43 TVs, whatever you wanted was on, and we pretty much had the run of the place with the sound on for the game and everything else, and drink specials, shot specials. Food's great.
For sure. So I say that to say that next watch party is this Saturday. Pick a location and come show the boys some love. Yeah,
it's 8:15 is first kick, and I will most likely be up north, but we got the community party as well. It's incredible stuff going on over there. It's a lot of fun to get out to these. If you haven't been out to one yet, this is going to be a good one.
Use that 10% off community.
Hell yeah. All right. Anything left on in FC Dallas land before we head down south to the Cotton Bowl?
No, although I will say before we get to USL Super League, I want to say their name now is Gainbridge Super League.
No, it's not. Not till next season.
No, it's the season.
No, I'm not calling it that.
You're not? Okay, well,
I'm not calling it that.
The reason I mention it is because we want before we get into that, just a quick 2 minutes on the growth of women's soccer. So We have the sponsorship with USL Super League, which is obviously sponsorship money is how leagues survive.
Right.
We have the WSPL announcing that they're doing a Division II professional league.
Yep.
With the Wisconsin team who didn't get the NWSL team that's going to Denver. Denver is running into issues after first saying they would get $70 million from the city. Denver is saying, well, hold on a second, this is still women's sports, so that's up in the air. But that being said, we went from having no leagues to having just the NPSL for the longest time to now having 2 Division Ones and within 2 years, 2 Division Twos in women's soccer. Although, and the NWSL League 2 is just a reserve league. So
right, it's going to be closer to Next Pro than it is.
It's a step in the direction for sure, though.
My issue is U.S. soccer needs to step in at a certain point and be like, this is nonsense.
Right. There needs to be one top league, and you can have several small feeder leagues if you want, but something needs to give here. But
we'll see if U.S. soccer decides to show some balls.
And here's the thing: you don't have to limit who gets certification, but at a certain point, it's like, what is the business argument to say 2 Division Ones, right? Yeah. USL's point of contention is like, hey, we can do it for cheaper, right? You don't have to. You don't have 500 million. You just need 25, and you can do this.
And you know what? They're taking a legitimate gamble, and if it works, it's gonna be crazy, right? So,
anyways, that's just a side note on women's soccer. The growth is great. The players' unions came out and said this is good for everybody because obviously. The college system, who is supposed to make a big change on their scheduling, because right now, college soccer is literally like 6 weeks. It's the shortest season in the world.
Right.
You go from first game to championship.
It's insane.
Right. You don't develop doing that. Right. So that's why you have NPSL and USL too. Exactly. But yeah. So speaking of women's soccer, locals team. And
before we make that transition.
Yeah.
Just
go ahead.
This is how you build a sport ahead of a World Cup, right? MLS, USL, they've been building for the Men's World Cup coming up here in 26, but this expansion going on in the women's game is going to be massive for the 2031 World Cup here in the US.
Right.
Yes, and I think they're doing what the men's side should have done, because like USL should have announced ProRel 2 years ago with the anticipation of saying, hey, we're going to do it the year of the Olympics. That would have been better. And then even with the schedule change, MLS is going to wait till last minute to realize like we actually do need to switch schedules. Yeah. So, but anyways, I just want to mention that.
Whoops, we're finally doing it.
Exactly. And this is where
we're definitely doing it.
This is where I come in, where the U.S. soccer should have had a plan, right? It's like, hey, the same way in 94, right? I think everyone can go back to 94 and say that is the off point for soccer in this country.
Yes.
We should have done the exact same thing this time. And it felt like, we have MLS, so everything's fine. And that's not really true, right? But we'll see. I just wanted to mention that. So, sponsorship money coming into USL, which is always good. I think from the interview I saw with the CEO of USL, this might be their first profitable year across all their divisions, and it's a lot of divisions. So between CBS, Peacock, and all that, I'm pretty sure when they do the men's Division 1, that will be sponsored. So we'll see how that works out. But no, it's just great. So I just wanted to mention that women's soccer is growing, and the reason I also mentioned that is because one of the WPSL teams for the Division 1 they're starting is going to be in Dallas. So we're going to have 2
we're being told.
Professional team. Yeah. So, growth is always good, and you got to love it.
Absolutely. So Dallas Trinity home at the Cotton Bowl, visiting Lexington SC, and Dallas finishes this one 3-1 and finishes the first ever season sweep 4-0 of any team ever.
Well, in the Super League, but yes.
Yeah, I was like,
just a caveat. Sorry.
When announced all the the first time this has happened. Well, this is the first season. Everything is the first time it's happened.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
Although you do get bragging rights at least, which is something. Yeah.
Yes.
That being said, Lexington are not good.
Well, they're the worst team. They weren't the worst team in the league coming into this, but they are the worst team in the league following this game,
which is shocking because again, terrible. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have watching the previous Lexington games, but yeah, they're just not great. They're just out there making mistakes left and right. They put in a goal every now and then, which is they did this game. But yeah, Dallas Trinity looked solid. There's a nice, terrible, dreadful thing happening right now, though, where we're looking at this team and saying, who's the backup? Because the injuries have
Well, that sounds
piled
familiar.
up. And we don't know when these players are coming back. And of course, Lexi's not coming back this year, which is, it is what it is. But
Gabby Gann picked up a knock on international duty, right?
yeah, this team can beat anyone in this league. Unfortunately, every time, and I'm basically quoting somebody else right now, but watching the game, every time a player goes in for a tackle or takes a hit or something, you're kind of clenching a little bit because you're waiting to find out they're not getting up and they just lost a piece, and who are they bringing in next? It's kind of scary right now, and we're hoping some of those players come back. Just feels like we're on thin ice when it comes to the roster right now, and there's no help on the way. Yeah.
Well, there are only a handful of games left, but then comes the playoffs, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I think it's definitely something to be concerned about, especially in a league this small. There's not a lot of room for depth, right? These teams don't have a ton of money, so you can't keep this deep bench. Although Dallas has a great academy system.
Yeah, I would say for Dallas, it's been less of an issue of deep pockets and depth in the past, and more about like players getting hurt. It's really been about that.
Well, they've got Solar as the academy, so there's definitely gals coming up. But are they the quality that we have right now? I don't think so.
Yeah, well, and I don't know exactly how the rules work. I don't think you can just bring up and down players easily in USL like you do in Major League Soccer.
Yeah.
So
I'm not 100% sure, but I do think they have a little bit more freedom than most other leagues.
Sure.
Especially if they're an academy product with Solar or whoever else that they're tied in with.
Yeah. USL does 28-day contracts, so they stole that from So you can sign. Now, granted, 28 days is like 3 games. So
yeah, I don't know. That's helpful to get reinforcements, but what the hell are you going to learn about your team? What kind of chemistry are you going to develop in that time for a league like this where the team has been playing since last early fall, right? Yeah. I don't know. I just, even if you brought up a superstar from the academy, I don't think they're meshing in right away. And that's a scary spot to be at when you're pushing for the championship and you're, one of the more dominant teams in the league that keeps just losing players randomly.
Well, so jumping into the action here real quick, we'll run it down real quick. We have Tamara Bolt scores in the 5th minute.
By the way, Tamara Bolt has been one of the workhorses of the league. Not appreciated enough. Tamara is incredible. She keeps getting overshadowed by Ubogagu, and that's not a bad thing. She's just workman-like every single game, putting the ball in, putting
effort, driving into the box. Woman-like?
I prefer workhorse because it's gender
work
neutral.
Pegasus.
I don't know. Work Pegasus, yes. Yeah, anyway, sorry, keep going. But Tamara needs some love. That's all.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely ridiculous, but I love it. All right, go ahead.
I will say and I don't know her official position. I don't know if she's a striker or center forward. Lopez for Lexington looks like she's got a good career ahead of her. She may not be best in the league right now, but she looks like she's got an incredible career ahead of her. She's got good attacking mindset.
18 years old too. So.
Yep. So then 69th minute, Hannah White scores one for Lexington, and they tie it up. Immediately followed by a Cameron Lancaster assist to Celie Strawn, who came on in the 62nd and ties it up a minute later. So we're in the 70th minute now. Celie scores, ties, and we're up 2-1.
I mean, how incredible is Cameron Lancaster? How crazy is it we got Lancaster and Missimo?
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, that was insane for a few weeks. And honestly, Cameron just slipped right into where Missimo was, and the team's barely missed a beat. It's been wonderful. She's so talented. Oh.
Her parents are awesome people too. They stopped by the tailgate a couple of weeks ago, and they're just really into it, right? Her mom was wearing this big crazy like Trinity colored chain. Like you ever see like the big plastic like chains, and she had
Like the big '90s chains.
For sure.
Right, exactly. She had the boots going and everything. So her parents are super cool. I know they stopped by the tailgate a couple of weeks ago. And how about Sealy Strawn, who played for Solar on Saturday, played a full 90 for Solar, comes in and scores the go-ahead goal on Sunday for Trinity. Sorry, she played Friday and then Saturday.
Yes. Yeah, incredible. She didn't look like she was losing a step either. So,
I mean, I can't think of a time I've ever heard of a player playing back-to-back pro games like that.
I mean, best I can think of was what, didn't Dion do that across a couple of sports or something? But that's all I got.
And that was what, 35 years ago?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's some legendary stuff that won't happen again. But yeah, no, I think he played in the World Series and then a football game. And I'm like, all right, bro, that's some legendary, right there. But
it's a freaking nature. But yeah, no, Sealy looked great. Wonderful goal. Well, I'll let you finish your recap before I get into more stuff.
No, I was going to go with the last goal of the game came 90 plus 3. Allie Thornton making it 11 now and gives her the golden boot.
Incorrect. First place is 12 right now, I think.
Is it 12? I
believe so. I'd have to double check. I think there's someone ahead of her now with 12.
Okay, I'll have to look into that. I thought
we can just look at the USL stats. Hold on.
Yeah, let's do that.
Fill some dead air while you
absolutely. Marcus, say something interesting.
Tokyo is a great city. Everyone should visit. Really old and really new. It's great. FC Tokyo, repping the colors. Great team. They're fans of us now. They actually ran up our YouTube numbers there for a little bit. So
okay, I got it. Good job, guys.
There we go. All right.
Mia Corbin from Carolina has 12 goals.
All right, so that's another Carolina stat that we need to knock down, right?
So they're leading in goals, assists, and chances created.
Is this our first rivalry? They're also 1 point ahead of us. We have one game in hand. So that last game of the season may come down. Last home game of the season, too, at the Cotton Bowl may come down to the championship in the league. So
yeah,
check that out. Get your tickets now.
But yeah, Allie Thornton keeps scoring. Can't be mad about it.
Yeah. But good chance she can take the golden boot if she can get one back on Mia. And they're in great shape to finish the season out strong and make a playoff run here.
Yeah, listen, their next few games are away, which could be challenging, but they've proven that they can do it this season. Let's see how many they got. 1, 2, 3 away games coming up. Tampa Bay, DC Power, and Fort Lauderdale, and then they come home to play Carolina on their last game of the season, which, like you said, could end up being the regular season decider, which is exciting. I hope it is, because it'd be nice to end the first season like that. But
and keep in mind, you got DC, who is completely eliminated and are at the bottom of the table. You've got Fort Lauderdale, who is competitive but not excellent, and Tampa's a tough club. But you've got, again, this could really come down to Dallas, Carolina, Saturday, May 31st at the Cotton Bowl for the season.
I think a lot of it will depend on where Tampa and Fort Lauderdale feel that they are here, because Tampa Bay sitting with 36 points, Fort Lauderdale with 34, and Dallas Trinity's got 40, so they can still get caught. Now, Dallas Trinity completely controls their own fate, though, and they happen to be playing the teams that are on their heels. So, take care of business, even if you get a tie, hold them back. You got to win a few games to catch up to Carolina, because Carolina's got 6 points ahead of them.
Carolina is 6 points ahead with 1 game in hand, though.
Yeah. I guess still 6 points in 4 games to make up that difference could be a challenge. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Granted, you're playing them at the end, though. So see what happens. But yeah, the team's looking good. The games have all been pretty similar, in my opinion. The first half of this game, they didn't look that confident to me, at least initially. They were creating a lot of chances, though. Just none of the chances were going in. We've talked about this with every Trinity game the last few weeks. Not putting away the chances initially, and luckily in the second half, they straightened up and they got those goals in. But it's scary when they go through these stretches of shots right at the keeper, or just wide, or just here or there. I hope they can kind of sort that out a little bit, because it makes you pretty nervous when that's happening against a team like Lexington. Their keeper didn't even have to work that hard for a lot of the saves. And shout out to Maddie White. She had an incredible save. I don't remember what minute it was, but go watch the highlights. Maddie had an incredible save, and yeah, she's, I think, quietly been a pretty good keeper. Our defense still showing some weak spots here and there, but as long as they hold on, our offense can outscore anyone, and I'll take 3-1, 4-1 wins all day. We're calling it the Doomsday Offense, and it's sort of been true, right?
Goals can come from anywhere, and they've come from everywhere all season.
Yeah. A thing to watch is that I think, in my opinion, they were playing more of a high press this game, trying to force errors, and I think it worked for them. Tactically speaking, I don't.
That's
have much
where they
else to say
excel,
about
right?
The game itself, but yeah, they're doing this high pressure and forcing mistakes and capitalizing.
And that's where they excelled at the last game in Lexington too, right? They forced Lexington to make some mistakes, and they capitalized them and scored excellent goals off them. They did the same thing in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
Those big wins against Brooklyn at home and the one on the road, right? Same thing. Capitalize on simple mistakes, get possession back, and just bombard them with shots. And most of the time, they go in that case.
Yeah, I mean, you got the players to finish, so.
So I know there are no official watch parties listed yet for Trinity, but
there
check
are.
There are. Aha!
I was just texted about it today.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Give me just a second here. So watch parties have been confirmed for the rest of the season. All right. On 5/3, they'll be at Community. On 5/24, which is a midweek game, they're going to be at City Futsal.
Okay.
If you haven't been out to City Futsal, that's a really cool facility. I went to watch a Dortmund watch party there sometime, and it was a lot of fun. I believe I'm missing one, right?
Yes, there is.
Okay, 5/3 Community, 5/24 is Community as well, and then 5/8 is City Futsal. There you go.
5/8 or 5/6?
I got 5/8 on my text, but it could be a typo.
It's listed as Tuesday 5/6 here, but the game may have moved. But if
the midweek game is at City Futsal,
okay, well. Keep up on DBG socials, because we'll be, especially on X, we'll be sharing everything that Trinity shares in regards to watch parties. We'll try and make our way out to as many of those as we can. Those are not DBG events, but they're put on by some great people. Community is our sponsor, you know that. So we love them, and we try and show out for anything soccer related that goes on in Community. So we will be there for that one. We will check out City Futsal as well, and then back home on at the Cotton Bowl, Saturday, May 31st. I believe it's Fan Appreciation Night as well. There'll be discount ticket links. Keep an eye out for those. We'll share those when we have them. But go buy tickets. Go to this game. It's $30.
I have some unfortunate stuff to tell you about that game.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you've looked at the calendar, but I believe FC Dallas plays that same night at home.
Oh, no. We might have to
That's a tough one.
We might
okay. We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I think Dallas Trinity plays at 7, and I think FC Dallas plays at 7:30.
Oh, don't know if we're gonna be able to split that one up, but
we'll figure something out though.
I don't know. We'll see where we end up. If it's for the season, I might have to head down to the Cotton Bowl, but we'll figure it out.
We'll wait and see what happens, see what the scenario looks like, and go from there.
Right. Well, we'll figure it out as it gets a little bit closer, but you can catch us this weekend at Community in downtown Dallas, or at the Derbyshire on Saturday evening as FC Dallas takes on San Diego FC or SC? What are they? They're FC, right?
Sure.
I don't know.
I can't say I care.
The San Diego Loyal. No, can't say that either. As FC Dallas heads to Snapdragon Stadium to take on whatever the hell they call themselves out there out west. Shout out to all the supporters that were there in Miami this week. What a contingent, all over television, making noise.
Honestly, that was awesome.
That was incredible to watch, and hopefully I'll do it again this weekend. I know there's a lot of people heading out west, and there's a lot of people going out early this week. So shout out to everybody that's going out to that game. Get loud. Show them who the hell we are. Okay, we're an original 96 club. Show these new boys how we rock.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't want to leave the Trinity conversation yet. I want to do a shout out here.
Sure.
Three people. Maddie White's mom, who came by our tailgate, hung out with us, went into the stands and hung out with us in the supporters section.
Very cool. Very cool.
Was awesome. Team president, whose name is escaping me, and I'm really embarrassed about it. Say what?
Charlie.
Yeah, it was Charlie. Came over to the stands after halftime and played the drums and chanted with us for a little bit. And
Charlie Neal, by the way. Charlie Neal. I didn't.
Yeah. And then shout out to Jim Neal.
You got to be more specific.
Well, and shout out to Jim Neal, who I think is owner, right?
Yes.
I think that's his title, founder. I don't know what the other title is. Came over to the tailgate when we yelled at him to come hang out and played the drum, chatted with us for a minute, and then at halftime also came over to the supporters section, beat the drum with us, which was really enjoyable. So shout out to those three. Thank you so much. Really cool to have that kind of thing happening.
And shout out over to the Unstabled as well. I know they're getting their supporters' feet wet over there. New supporters group that is taking place over there. Look, we're DBG. We love local Dallas soccer. We're going to be wherever we can be every time we can be there. But that group is starting to make the Cotton Bowl a home for them. I know they've been trying to come up with a name for that section. A lot of cool stuff going on, so you can check out their scarves. We'll have a few of their scarves for sale at our next tailgate if you're interested in those as well. Just want to give a shout out to them because getting these things off the ground are not easy, right? We've been here for 15 years doing this as DBG, and so they're in their first year in the club, getting their stuff together, and it's just exciting to see all the grassroots stuff that's going on over there from the club and the supporter section.
Well,
yeah, all that. I will say, side note, are you guys, or technically Dennis, are you going to make it to the USL Dallas launch?
I will most likely be there,
or whatever they're calling it.
It's there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. Yeah, well, we'll shout that out real quick. This Friday, USL Dallas, downtown Garland, outside of Fortunate Son Pizza in the park they have over there downtown. There's going to be a parade going on. There's going to be live music going on, and it will be a full brand and I believe colors. I don't think they're unveiling a kit yet, but it's branding and colors for the new USL Dallas team. So we'll find out what they're called. We'll find out what their color scheme is. I believe we'll have a logo and all that fun stuff. We may even have a kit. I don't know. But
there may or may not have already been a leak of the logo.
So. That was incorrect. They said that is not it. That Atletico, I think, was the leak.
There was like 2 or 3 different names.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It better be better than the leak. So
yeah, it better not just be a Garland flag, okay? Because I'm gonna be very upset. I'm gonna buy the jersey anyway because that's what I do.
Yeah, if it's Dallas, something Dallas has a rich history. We've been here a long time. Like Trinity works because Trinity River.
Mm-hmm.
Like I miss the old original Galaxy Wiz before we went to FC, SC, everything. That was great.
Burn, baby, burn.
That being said, I'm not totally mad about the FC Dallas crest. It is a slight take on the Dallas flag, which I think is actually a cool way to do it.
Yeah. Again, I'm glad USL still does, Phoenix Rising, and they do some Uniteds, but I think they have a little bit more leeway. Like, Hearts of Pine is a hell of a name. That's not really, that's some old school shit right there. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, we need to plug anything else?
I think that's it. I think that's it. Marcus, I need you to hit the line because you missed it.
Oh, so yeah, I have a thing that'll pop up at the end of the video that will say like and subscribe, so I don't have to say it anymore. We'll also be running an ad in the middle of this bad boy at one point, but we'll see. It'll be a self ad. We'll be advertising for ourselves.
Okay.
So relax,
do we have to pay for that?
We are the sponsor of ourselves. Brought to you by, and then whatever. So it's gonna be a whole thing.
Do we transfer money from one account to another? Is that how that works?
No,
Well, that sounds shady. So
doesn't it?
Exactly.
Anyway, but
that's what I'm trying to do here.
The thing I was asking is like if you can take video. I would go.
Absolutely.
It's a Friday, so I can't make it. I have to work. But yeah, if we can get some video of that, that'd be awesome, and then we can just post it up to.
We'll get some content from there as well, and I think that'll do it. We're just up on an hour, and so like, share, subscribe, and check us out next week where we'll have our FC Dallas Trinity recap, and next week we'll also have our round of 32 U.S. Open Cup preview.
Excellent.
Retreat now. Peace out.